Hello dear viewers and welcome to T-World. Kindly hit the subscribe button and we will be on our way. In today's news, the previous president hasn't come to a last conclusion about running in 2024. However, a few consultants say he could get an offer underway as soon as this mid-year. Washington. Former President Donald Trump is exhausted at Mar-a-Lago and restless to get back in the political field. As an up-and-comer, not a kingmaker, as per his counsels, who are partitioned about whether he ought to send off a third offer for the administration as soon as this mid-year, while many Trump friends accept he ought to hold on until after November's midterm races. And alert that he has not yet come to a last conclusion about running. Some say he could move all the more rapidly to saddle allies and deny fuel to the busload of GOP hopefuls in his rearview reflect, "I've spread out my case on why I figure he ought to get it done," said long-term Trump consultant Jason Miller, who went with the previous president to a meeting in Wyoming over Memorial Day weekend. "I feel that there being lucidity about what his goals are so he can begin constructing that activity while it's still new to individuals there as yet dynamic. A great deal of that can be changed over into 2024 activity," a subsequent counselor, who accepts Trump ought to stop until the more customary post-midterm time frame, said the previous president, well known for his absence of motivation control, is regardless prone to bounce in the near future. Both said Trump has accumulated a wide scope of perspectives. One inquiry is whether he can kind of smother his fervor around a 2024 rematch and not express, "Feel free to put that explanation out," and sits tight for a major occasion. A major discourse to make it happen, the subsequent counsel said. A wagering individual says he's making it happen. And he likewise needs to swarm out the remainder of the field. Two individuals in Trump's circle told NBC News they had been asked casually to hold July 4th as a date for a potential declaration. However, Miller, taking note of that Trump hasn't yet chosen to run, said it is false that the day has been saved, even informally, for a send-off, without explicitly resolving the topic of timing. Trump Representative Taylor Buttigieg said in a message trade with NBC News that he sees developing public craving for a Trump rebound. America was solid, prosperous, and enormously regarded under President Trump. And that is the reason he keeps on having uncommon strength through his support record, and the interest for his administration has never been higher, Buttigieg said. Trump's choice and its timing vow to characterize the battleground for Republicans' endeavors to remove President Joe Biden in 2024. And there is justification behind him to feel more noteworthy earnestness lately, while he creates a more drawn-out shaded area over his party than that of any previous president in current times. The strides of 2024 Republican hopefuls are becoming stronger. A few of them have visited early essential states, supported up-and-comers in the midterms, or conveyed high-profile discourses intended to raise their remaining in the party. That pack incorporates Florida Gov. Ron DeSantis, previous Vice President Mike Pence, previous Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, previous UN Representative Nikki Haley, and since Tom Cotton, R. Josh Hawley, R. Mo, and Ted Cruz, R. Texas. There is additionally an arising dynamic in which his top picks in multi-applicant races frequently come up short, win or lose, to get done with as much as 33% of the vote. A few Republican agents see that as a sign that his effect on the GOP electorate has decreased. To not express anything of his remaining with a more extensive public that removed him from office under quite a while back may be more significant. Trump is disappointed by the boredom of connecting for the most part through midterm supports for competitors he barely knows, particularly when, as has occurred in a few ongoing high-profile primaries, they lose. Yet, however much Trump is enticed by President Joe Biden's battles in office and his own anxiety, there are a lot of motivations to hold off, Trump partners and Republican tacticians say. In the event that Trump declares a bid, his mission board of trustees will be dependent upon hard cash-raising money limits and a specialized prohibition on organizing with his Save America PAC. He would likewise without a doubt concentrate away from Republicans running in midterm races, possibly harming the party's up-and-comers in swing locale and states. What's more, he could unintentionally help Biden by giving the president a difference point. The most cleanest way is to have an enclosure match rematch, the subsequent consultant said, assuming you have that rematch too soon. It could really help Biden a smidgen. Trump in unobtrusive dosages has been really great for Trump. There is point of reference for a once and perhaps future president, and for the possibility of a Trump-Biden rematch. In 1892, previous President Grover Cleveland crushed President Benjamin Harrison, who had unseated Cleveland in 1888. That was one of multiple times in U.S. History that an up-and-comer attempted to unseat the occupant president who beat him 4 years sooner, not including the races George Washington won before parties were coordinated. The first was in 1800, when Thomas Jefferson vindicated his misfortune because of President John Adams. The latest, Dwight Eisenhower's continuous successes over Democrat ally Stevenson II in 1952 and 1956. In 4 of the 6 challenges, the challenger won. As of late, Trump has prodded crowds at his meetings by proposing that he will, truth be told, run in 2024. Truly, I ran 2 times, I won 2 times, and I improved the subsequent time, Trump said at a March rally in Georgia, rehashing the falsehood that he was triumphant in 2020. Also, presently we just may need to rehash it. For the time being, he is requesting and getting counsel, both on whether he ought to run and, assuming he does, when he ought to hop in. He generally looks for guidance from the unlikeliest of spots and an exceptionally wide pool of voices, said Miller, who declined to delve into the subtleties of his own conversations with Trump regarding this situation. I particularly believe he should run again in 2024. Amendment. A past form of this article misquoted the name of the president who Grover Cleveland crushed in 1892. It was Benjamin Harrison, not William Henry Harrison.
If you made it to the end of the video, kindly hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. It helps the channel.